There's something wild about life you only realize once you stop trying so hard. The moment you let go, everything you were chasing begins to find you. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's how energy works, and how life actually flows underneath all the noise we create in our minds. You see, when you're gripping too tightly, needing something to happen, your energy stiffens. You start to block the very thing you want from coming in. It's like trying to catch a river with your fists. The more you squeeze, the more the water slips right through you. Think about all the times you were desperate for something: love, success, answers, and the harder you pushed, the farther it drifted. But when you got tired, when you said, "Whatever happens, happens," suddenly doors opened, opportunities appeared, people showed up. It's not coincidence. When you let go of needing it, your energy shifts from scarcity to trust. And life always responds better to trust than to fear, because needing says, "Oh, I don't have it, and I don't trust that I ever will." While letting go says, "I'm already whole, and if it comes, beautiful. If not, I'm still whole." And that subtle shift is what flips the entire game. Most people don't realize letting go isn't about giving up. It's about stepping out of the way long enough for life to work for you instead of against you. When you're constantly trying to control every outcome, you're moving from fear. Fear that it won't happen. Fear that you're not enough. Fear that if you stop trying, everything will collapse. But that's the trap, because life isn't built on force. Life is built on flow. Have you ever noticed how the best things often come when you're just living? When you're present? When you're not watching the clock? When you're not squeezing the future so tightly it can't breathe? Think about it. The friendships that lasted, you didn't force them. The opportunities that changed your life, you stumbled into them when you were doing your thing, not begging the world to notice you. The moments that made you feel alive, they weren't planned or manufactured. They were lived. That's because life isn't responding to your effort. It's responding to your energy. And your energy is clearest, cleanest, and most magnetic when you're at peace with yourself. Not needy, not desperate, just trusting. Because when you trust, you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, the things meant for you don't have to be chased. They arrive. Here's something few people tell you. The more you chase certainty, the more you actually invite chaos. Because needing everything to make sense right now, needing every answer immediately, it closes you off from the paths you can't even see yet. Life has an intelligence deeper than your plans. It's weaving possibilities, opportunities, meetings, chances, far beyond what your mind can orchestrate. But when you're clinging tightly to one idea of how things must unfold, you become blind to the better ways life is trying to hand you. You know those moments when something falls apart and you panic? You think it's the worst thing that could happen, and yet months later, you realize it was the best thing that ever happened for you. That's not an accident. That's life answering your deeper needs, not your surface fears. The more you loosen your grip, the more you let go of needing a specific outcome at a specific time, the more space you create for something even better to rush in. Trust isn't passive. Trust is powerful. Trust says, "I am showing up fully, but I am not desperate for this to look exactly how I think it should." It's about moving forward without dragging your expectations like heavy chains behind you. When you embody that, you start to notice people are drawn to you differently. Opportunities find you more easily. And somehow, without fighting so hard, the things you once struggled for start unfolding with less resistance and more magic. Because the energy of trust is not frantic, it's magnetic. And life always answers the energy you lead with. And here's where it gets even more real. Most people don't trust life because they've been trained to trust fear more than possibility. From the moment we're young, we're taught to plan for disaster, to expect betrayal, to protect ourselves from disappointment. So naturally, trusting feels unsafe. It feels reckless. It feels like you're standing on the edge of a cliff with no harness. But here's the hidden truth nobody tells you. You're already standing on that cliff. You always have been. Because life was never controllable in the first place. All the plans, all the micromanaging, all the anxiety, they only create the illusion of safety. Real safety? It's learning to surf the waves, not trying to dam the ocean. It's learning to be alive inside the chaos. not fighting against it, not begging it to calm down, but moving with it like a dance you've always secretly known. When you lean into trust, you don't stop caring about your dreams. You just stop trying to wrestle them into existence. You stop suffocating them with pressure, and you realize something powerful. What's meant for you isn't fragile. It doesn't need you to squeeze it tighter. It needs you to meet it halfway, with open palms and open heart, not clenched fists. Every single thing you're trying to force right now, every person you're chasing, every goal you're strangling, you're blocking it by gripping it with fear instead of meeting it with trust. And the moment you ease that grip, the moment you breathe and say, I trust life to lead me where I'm meant to go, everything starts to move faster, but softer, easier, more naturally, because you're no longer standing in your own way. And here's something nobody really talks about. Most of the struggle you feel in life isn't because you're doing the wrong things. It's because you're doing them with tightness, with fear underneath, with that voice in your head whispering, if I don't make this happen, I'll lose everything. You start to grip harder. You start to panic when results don't show up immediately. You start to think maybe you're failing, when really you're just forcing. Life doesn't respond to force. It responds to alignment. When you're acting from fear, you create resistance. But when you're acting from trust, you create momentum. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who's effortlessly magnetic? Not because they're trying, not because they're desperate, but because they're relaxed, because they trust themselves, trust their path, and trust life to carry them. It's like they have a different energy field around them. And here's the secret. You can have that too. You don't need to become better or stronger or more impressive. You need to become lighter. You need to remember that you're already enough without needing to squeeze life into a perfect timeline. Because the moment you stop trying to control every outcome, the outcomes you want start flowing to you naturally. Like a river that finally finds its course when the boulders are cleared away. The less you panic, the more you open. The less you chase, the more you attract. The less you grip, the more you grow. It's not about doing less. It's about being different. You become a calmer, wiser version of yourself. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted yourself enough to allow it. Here's the real paradox nobody explains. The more you loosen your grip, the stronger your results become. It sounds almost unfair, right? You work so hard, you hustle, you grind, you control every detail, and somehow things slip through your fingers. But the moment you ease up, the right opportunities, the right people, the right moments, they start to land right in your lap. It's not magic, it's energy. When you're desperate, people feel it. Even if you smile, even if you say the right words, they can sense the tension underneath. That please work out energy, it pushes things away. But when you stop depending on the outcome to define you, you move differently. You talk differently. You walk into rooms differently. You don't need things to happen anymore. You choose for them to happen from a place of strength instead of survival. And that small internal shift changes everything. Because life, weirdly enough, mirrors your inner state. If you're constantly doubting, life will keep throwing obstacles to test you. If you're constantly trusting, life starts throwing open doors you didn't even know existed. It's like this silent contract you have with reality. I'll trust you to unfold, and you'll trust me to show up. You don't wake up every morning panicking about when and how your dreams will happen. You wake up excited because you know they're already on their way. You walk lighter because the weight of needing it all right now disappears. You become magnetic not by chasing, but by being the person who already belongs to that bigger life. And honestly, that's where the real winners live. Not in a race to control everything, but in a dance with trust. You trust that life's delays are setups. You trust that missed opportunities are protection. You trust that what's for you is moving toward you, even when you can't see it yet. That's the hidden advantage that most people never tap into. They never realize that trust is the shortcut they were looking for all along. When you trust life, something even crazier starts to happen. You stop forcing timelines that aren't even meant for you. Most people are obsessed with speed. I need to make it happen now. If it's not happening yet, it must be failing. But here's the reality. Speed means nothing if you're racing toward the wrong thing. And trust, real trust, is the art of letting the right things take their natural shape, even if it's slower than your ego wants. Because what you force often breaks, and what you trust often builds itself stronger than you ever could have designed. Think about it. The biggest things in life, the ones that truly changed you, probably didn't arrive on your personal deadline. They showed up in their own time, in ways you could have never planned. A friendship that came out of nowhere, an opportunity you didn't even apply for, a door that opened when you weren't even looking anymore. That's what life does when you stop screaming, "Where is it?" and start whispering, "I'm ready when you are." Because there's a rhythm to your life that's so much bigger than the pressure you feel right now. And when you step into trust, you align yourself with that rhythm. You stop interrupting your own blessings with fear. You stop rushing into places you were never meant to be. You stop shrinking every time things don't go according to your script. You let life surprise you in the best ways. Because you trust that the unseen things working for you are more powerful than the visible ones working against you. The funny part? When you start living this way, people notice. They see you walking differently, speaking differently, radiating a peace they can't quite explain, and they wonder, what changed? But you'll know. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was trust. Real trust. The kind that says, I don't chase, I align. I don't demand, I prepare. I don't panic, I receive. And that, my friend, is when life stops being a battle and starts feeling like a beautiful conversation you were finally patient enough to listen to. And here's the quiet secret you start to realize once you trust life enough. You're not missing out. You're not falling behind. You're not losing time. You're simply allowing yourself to breathe in a world that's always gasping for the next big thing. See, the ones who keep chasing every shiny moment are usually the ones who miss the real opportunities. Because real opportunities don't scream for your attention. They whisper. They show up when your mind is clear, when your hands aren't already gripping 5 other things in fear. Trusting life isn't about waiting around, doing nothing. It's about living in a way where your peace becomes more magnetic than your panic, where the right people, the right moments, and the right paths naturally start connecting with you. Not because you forced them, but because you made space for them. You begin to notice it in small ways first. That call you stopped obsessing over, suddenly it comes through. That opportunity you almost begged for, a better one crosses your path when you least expect it. That connection you thought you lost forever, it finds its way back on better terms than you ever could have planned. Life rewards those who are willing to trust it with open hands. Not clenched fists, not desperate moves, but quiet confidence. It's almost a paradox. The less you force it, the faster it unfolds. The less you obsess over it, the more naturally it finds you. Because when you're not anchored in fear, you move differently. You speak differently. You radiate something people and opportunities want to be near. That's why you see it in those who've truly evolved. There's a calmness about them that makes no sense. They're not rushing to prove their worth. They're not trying to earn what's already on its way. And that could be you. That energy could be yours starting today. If you're tired of living in chase mode, if you're ready to experience how powerful you become when you stop forcing what's not yours to force, then it's time. Right now. Choose trust. Choose calm alignment. Choose to believe that life is not working against you. It's preparing something better than you imagined. If this spoke to you, if you're ready to let go and move differently from today on, drop the word align down below in the comments. Let's see how many of us are shifting into a different kind of power together. Quiet, calm, certain, aligned. Your next chapter doesn't start with more chasing. It starts with more trusting.